This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine called The Leaf that is available in print in 13 states and counting at your local cannabis retailer and also available online at leafmagazines.com. I'm Mike Ricker, your host of Leaf Life, proudly with my co-host and beloved bestie, Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's AJOG.
Hola, aloha OGs.
And Mary J. White.
The smoking female.
Welcome to the second half of this Leaf Life show called The History of the Leaf. In just a moment, we'll get deeper into the story of how we got here and what it took to become the world's most widely circulated cannabis publication. And we'll spin AJ's wheel to see what products Daniel Berman, Leaf Creative Director, this show's Greg the Guinea Pig, is going to be trying next.
Ooh.
But first, it's time for Who Does That?
Really? You gotta be kidding.
No way!
Seriously?
Utterly perplexing.
Who does that?
Mary J. White.
Yes, sir. Okay, this is a little less than fresh, okay? 8 female inmates were hospitalized recently, had to have emergency treatment. They snorted a bunch of stuff, allegedly, that 2 other inmates had smuggled in.
Oh.
Now, the whole point of the story here is that the 2 inmates who smuggled in the stuff, and people, almost died. This is very bad.
Okay.
But the people that smuggled it in, Nicole and Jasmine, well, apparently, Nicole had been incarcerated for illicit drug activity.
Sure.
Anyway, and Ely, when she was also brought into the jail, they were both very carefully and thoroughly searched.
Sure.
Allegedly.
This is
Yeah.
intense.
Okay.
This is intense.
But apparently, I think it was Nicole, apparently her body cavity is very special because
Has a left turn.
they didn't find this large quantity of fentanyl and heroin mixed together inside of her.
Good
Very
shit.
risky to
That's
show.
not where you want
My
to keep
goodness,
that.
this
No,
is
this
wow.
wasn't in the not the ass area.
And the cookie.
It was in the reproductive portion of the circus. But anyway, so a whole bunch of people got thrown in hospital and then in jail because of this lady's intense and, may I say, apparently gigantic area
Really?
where she just saved all the drugs
AJ is looking shocked.
for the people.
Was it unclean?
I'm a very petite woman, so this is very confusing.
Yeah,
for me.
you'd have trouble, sister. This one maybe in your boobs or
I
something.
don't know.
How much was smuggled in?
Well, it doesn't say, but 8 inmates were hospitalized.
What?
So enough to have 8 people hospitalized? That's either a really big cavity or really strong drugs.
2 kilos,
Still very
Wes. 2
confused.
kilos. Yeah.
Anyway, who does that? Nicole and Jasmine.
Wow. How come when I was in prison, I never met them?
Because you went to the boy prison.
I didn't go to prison, Mary.
I didn't think so.
Yet.
There's
Yeah.
still time.
Oh, my.
Still a chance. Thank you, Mary J. White. All right, AJ, spin that wheel and let's see what you're going to be hitting next as a pinch hitter. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Here we go.
what do we
All
got
right.
here?
AJ's stash. Nice looking
All
stash,
right,
AJ.
So this is Walker OG.
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah, one thing about CBX, they got a lot of OGs, you guys. That Walker OG is an old timer. This is an exciting one. What is this? Resin? No.
It's live resin? What was in your stash? Just open the jar.
Okay, I'm opening it, but I'll be honest.
Should be able to tell from the jar.
Well, I don't do. Okay. They all have different names. I feel like this is diamonds or something.
Diamonds and sauce.
What do you say,
Rocks
Wes?
and
What do you
sauce?
say?
It's kind of like
Looks like some crumble or...
a
Maybe a
sugar
crumble?
crystal. Like, it's hard. People will take the same product and call it different things.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to read the box there, so I wanted to be clear. But it's
Facts.
beautiful gold, and
It's
that's
fire.
the point. It's glistening. And the smell is off the chain.
Okay.
And what's the cultivar?
It's a Walker...
A Walker OG.
Walker OG.
Yeah,
Okay.
bomb. Walker OG is some throwback, and you don't get it too often. But
It's
if you're-
Terp sugar. It
if
says
you're
it right
close to
there.
Humble, oh, there you go. Terp sugar.
Terp
My
sugar.
fault, you guys. I dabbed earlier, and things are becoming a little different over here. So
No, that's how
That's
cannabis
But
works, Mary.
We're gonna go in again, and please don't judge me for whatever
Here
happens
she goes.
next.
Well, she's the guinea pig, so we can't judge her.
There's no judging.
She's
All right,
using
guinea
cannabis.
pigged. All right, let's go.
She's smiling and
Wait,
laughing.
Okay, so tell me again.
2 clicks.
2 clicks. We got it. 2 clicks.
There you go, AJ. When it
We
buzzes,
gotta wait for the vibration.
go ahead. We'll just leave you to your vices. In the meantime,
Yeah, go ahead.
the world's largest cannabis publication. Can you believe it, Wes? Publishing 100,000 copies a month in 13 states at the time of airing of this show, and talking about currently expanding into 3 new markets in 2024 or more. Digitally, we're all over the world. The podcast is downloaded in 48 countries, and you're just a couple knuckleheads from north of Seattle. How did it all happen?
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
It really is.
It really is.
With all the hot dabs we
No
took.
shit, you're high all the time.
But
Yeah.
the roller coaster ride, and
Nice.
I've been partners with you now for 4 years, Wes, and you too, Daniel. And I have to say that I've never had, I was in radio for 20 years. Mary was in for 25 years, and that was a shit show.
No kidding.
But you know what?
Yeah, not like publishing.
The paycheck always
Yeah,
landed in my inbox,
Mm-hmm.
in my box at work every 2 weeks. And you went and cashed it, and you showed up to work, and it was very corporate, and you had an HR department, and
This is the
there was
radio he's talking
yes,
about.
Yeah.
there was
This is very
security there.
different than the magazine.
For us,
Yeah.
it's scratching and clawing every month to not just make ends meet. I mean, we managed to do that somehow. It's a miracle. But to make a magazine that is effectual,
Yeah.
that is laden with integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And we're stoners, okay? I tell this to people all the time that want to know about the leaf. Well, here's the difference between a lot of cannabis companies and what we do. We're stoners, and we will never sell out our heart and soul because this is in our blood. We've been using cannabis since we were teenagers, as Wes just told on the first segment, and we have a relationship with cannabis, so much so that it is our religion. And the bud itself is a sacrament for us. And to sell ourselves out would really be heresy in some way. So we take it very personally.
Yes.
Every single publication that we put out, and believe me, Wes and I, we fight all the time, and we have disagreements off the air, of course.
Of course.
And, that's just the beginning of the challenges that we face regularly on a daily, weekly, monthly, annually basis. It is very difficult what we do, and no one else can do it like we do it. And to be doing it for the planet makes us really feel as though this is sort of a pilgrimage, and it is our life's purpose. And to be sitting next to the 2 guys on the air that started this thing in 2010 really is a fulfilling part of my life that I will devote my life to as a martyr. If I had to die tomorrow,
Ooh, look at that.
so that the leaf could go on for another 50 years, I probably
Say
would.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's some serious
Yeah.
I
belief
mean,
in the
well
leaf.
said, Ricker.
Yeah.
I think everyone who works on the magazine is extremely dedicated, passionate, and really caring about the people who end up reading and seeing our magazines. We've always centered ourselves around the people
Yes.
and not the businesses, not the money, definitely not the money,
Mm.
and made our publication each and every month really patient focused, really consumer focused. What is the reader going to want to see? And that's really driven all of our values forward.
Yes.
Just what we were taught in journalism. And back then journalism was still had integrity and ethics, and it's not this mainstream media madness that we have today.
Yeah.
Infotainment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we've really tried to just cover it. It was like an emerging scene. It's like being there for the 60s, or the Summer of Love, but it's lasted now for 14 years.
Mm.
And we've watched we go from medical to legal, and then the same journey in multiple states. We're now seeing it with psychedelics. And it's
Pretty
like
cool.
getting to redo the whole thing where I just got to go tour my first mushroom grow and service center and meet a facilitator who took a state program to hand mushrooms to people.
Wow.
Well, actually hand them a cup of tea.
Yeah.
But it's so wild, and it's never gotten boring. And, we've had so many people who've come and gone over the years too. Contributors who've made an impact. People like AJ, who's been in the Leaf family for years and helped on different levels. And we all seem to come back together. Same with Mary, and it's just beautiful. And this community is beautiful. And we've told stories that I really feel like matter, that weren't being told anywhere else. And now you can get on Instagram and see a lot of cannabis content. And now you can get that kind of need from a lot of outlets. But we were doing it at a time when there were no other outlets.
The difference is that there are corporations and then there are artists, creatives.
Yes.
We are artists.
Yes.
It's that simple. And so we refuse to buckle to the corporate sphere, so to speak. And we have a purpose in life, and it is to create and then to share that creation with whoever has the desire to watch or read or listen or whatever. It is a necessity for us. We have to get this out. It's our therapy. And we put our lives into it every month, every show.
Oh, man.
Because we don't know how to do anything else.
There is that.
And so a corporation can come in and start a magazine. It's funny. I was having the conversation with a shop owner, a retail shop owner on the way here today about that. Saying, what if another magazine comes around and Wes, what do we always tell them?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard. And
so hard, you guys.
And the Leaf has outlasted a lot of publications and that are no longer here.
Yep.
So we don't mention them.
Although
we mentioned one in the beginning that's out of print.
Right. Yeah. There's good history there too, you guys. I mean, I remember meeting these wonderful gentlemen at HempFest in 2013, I believe.
Seattle
and
HempFest.
I was a young OG, just excited about the industry, I think I was pushing herb for some homies. And I also was working with Dope Magazine at the time. And I came across these guys and I saw their publication and I learned that they had created their publication first, and I met them and they were genuine and they were real and they weren't trying to really hype, but they were like, yo, check out our leaf. You get it? It's a leaf, like a magazine leaf. And I was like, I do get it. Because, I come from, in college, I created my college newspaper, actually. A similar thing. And the college never had a newspaper until myself and my senior crew showed up. And we created that magazine, went out and got ad sales, all of that. And it's still there at my college, thriving as well. So I related to that. They told me their story, their journey, that's what they were doing. They were doing it because they did it in college. They loved it. They pissed their teacher off a little, but it felt good and there was a place for it. And back then, you guys, Weed Maps, shout out to Weed Maps, because literally the only way you could find anybody in cannabis was through this little secret app, that you had to download and all that stuff. And smartphones were new. So if you had a smartphone, you could even have access. But if you didn't, good luck, you know what I mean? And it was like that. And these guys took a risk to put a publication out there during a time where they could get in trouble. And it had to be free. People don't know that, but it had to be free or it could be illegal because of the kind of content we were publishing, because of the types of ads we were choosing to, publish. And we did it on the dope side as well. But y'all, dope is gone. But look at the leaf, because these guys were doing it from heart from when they were kids, literally. Yeah. And they've grown up with the community.
When we first started, people wouldn't let us show their faces. We couldn't use their real names. We would be, led down secret roads and turned all around. We were practically blindfolded. We never actually got blindfolded.
I refused.
Yeah.
But we've gone from that, over 10 years ago, to the point where now we're able to feature people from all walks of life. We're even talking to cannabis celebrities. We just had Cheech and Chong on our cover a couple months ago.
We've done hard-hitting stories from Johns Hopkins Institute in Baltimore doing psychedelic research. We do our work every month. It's not mailed in, so to speak.
Well, as the cannabis industry here in Washington State and around the country and around the world has developed, we've gotten to kind of step up our game too and be able to tell those news stories.
Oh yeah.
We've grown with the industry.
Yes.
And it was originally, at one point, it was just like me and Daniel. I delivered over 1 million copies of the magazines myself.
Handle it.
Daniel did some
honey.
distribution.
It was for a
We had a
long
route.
point. It wasn't just at one point. It was for a long point of this magazine, you guys. You
Years.
guys really
Years.
took on a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
You know, it
Sleepless
is.
nights.
Yeah, it was hard work, but actually to be able to be on the route, not only to be able to put it together, but then to, you know, have it in hand and see the people's faces when you would drop it off, and the bud tenders are always so excited.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the new leaf.
It feels good, doesn't it?
And they're like, we just really value, you know, what you guys are doing. So I actually didn't mind the distribution routes. I wouldn't do it now.
Yeah.
I have people who would do that now.
That's
Yeah.
right, darling.
And that was,
It was
our
fun.
competitive advantage, was that, you know, and it still is to this day, that with Daniel and myself and Ricker and, you know, a small team, we have a big impact. And it's because all of us are writers. We are artists. We
Ooh.
are creatives. We, you know,
Triple threat.
Daniel's the layout king.
Yeah.
And he
Oh my
does all the
gosh.
page designs and takes a lot of the photos. But what
Amazing.
has kept us here
Yes.
is our willingness to, even right now, Ricker's new to the LA area. So what he's doing down there to learn the area is distributing the magazine. And it's a surefire
Good
way
idea.
to meet the community, to hear from them,
Exactly.
to run an intuitive magazine.
Yep.
It was never,
You have to
You
be
know,
on the ground to be able to do it.
Yeah.
you have to be embedded, you know, and I think that's why we survived, is because we treated it like journalism, and then we were willing to do the work because the work was fun to us. And even the distribution back in the day when it was medical, every shop had a dab bar.
Yeah.
And so, you know, by the 14th shop, you're,
Right.
you're just
Yes.
The leaf
floating.
is life. The leaf is
We were
life.
forgetting stops.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and
Yes.
the Leaf has gotten to grow as a business, and it continues to grow in reach. We have an amazing team. There's too many people to thank, and people who are no longer with us, and some of them who are no longer here, even people we've written about, people, foundational members of our community. So it does feel like we're kind of finally at that point where we're historically valuable, but we're
Yes.
still living in that history, living in the moment. And I think that's the most exciting thing. And that, you know, Ricker is always reminding us that at the end of the journey, you know, at the end of our lives, the one thing we're all going to want is to do it again. And there's nothing I'd rather do than do this again.
And we consider ourselves the Rolling Stone of the cannabis industry. And really, this is the good old days.
Oh, yeah.
This is the soaring 20s. This is happening as we live it. This is an historic moment in history, and we have the great luxury of being the narrators of it as it develops. So here's to another 488 magazines, you guys.
Yay,
488.
what's
And
up?
another
Shout out,
238 podcast shows. And Daniel, now it's time for you to play the Weirded Lorax.
Oh, Daniel.
This is where it
Now,
gets weird.
can we all just get a long hair?
Gonna love it.
Weird. Beard. This is the Weirded Lorax.
All right, Dan, put your thinking cap on there, bud.
I will do my best.
Okay, man. Well, this should be easy for you because you've known Wes for, well, since elementary school.
school.
It's been a lot of bong rips, though.
You've not
So
been
many.
everywhere with Wes. I have been a lot of places with Wes, so any of these could be true. Which of these events actually happened? Number 1. In the middle of a killer whale show at SeaWorld in San Diego while on vacation with his family, Wes deftly scaled the glass wall separating the grandstand from the giant pool and dove into the water, grabbing the fin of Tillicum, balanced himself on the back of the animal, and stood up to perform a ballet for the wowed crowd while dangling a small mackerel clenched between his teeth.
Oh, I love the image.
It's very possible. That's number 1.
In a
Wow.
Speedo, nonetheless.
Ooh, I'm going to write that down.
That wasn't in
Okay.
the story.
Number 2. When the entire world was watching during the middle of the 2019 Super Bowl halftime show, there suddenly appeared a flesh-colored bodysuit-clad bearded Lorax who had stowed away under the stage, only to emerge in full regalia during the show-stopping performance of She-Wolf, matching a hip-gyrating dance with Shakira during her unforgettable performance while tassels tossed and booties jiggled.
Wow. That's an interesting image.
Dan
Love
looks,
me some Shakira.
Dan looks perplexed over there as he's curious if number 3 might be outlandish.
No.
Okay, and here we go. Number 3, in the wee hours of a brisk Alaska morning before the 2023 Alaska Leaf Bowl in beautiful Hatcher's Pass, Wes was wonderfully awakened to a riveting she-wolfing that thwarted his day into unexpected, miraculous motion, setting the tone for what would be a fresh, invigorated perspective on the amazing journey that is life and its unbelievable majesty enjoyed in the existence of his manly, hairy body.
Oh my
1, 2, or 3, Dan?
God, what could it be?
I mean, they're all, completely believable stories.
agree.
Right.
So
right.
I'm going to have to go with Alaska.
Number 3 is Chris Ryan. It's amazing. Wow, Mary.
Daniel.
That is one intuitive human being right
He's
there.
just brilliant.
He knows the bearded Lorax.
Apparently.
It's true. The Lorax did get she-wolfed, and it was it was an amazing event. Wes,
What does that
tell
mean?
us how it felt.
Yeah.
Well, to get she-wolfed is to find yourself hearing a very annoying song at very high volume at an inconvenient time, which is a tradition that began
It's
with
almost like getting iced.
playing the song Shattered by the Rolling
And
Stones.
Wes got shattered too many times.
Best
She-wolf.
shattered when someone's very hungover or tired.
You get shattered. Shatter, babe. Shatter. Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
you take a
My
portable
goodness.
Jagger's
speaker
birthday.
and you put it somewhere where they can't find it.
Okay.
And you play that song very loudly.
Okay.
But this time,
That
Wes
is
got
amazing.
she-wolfed because we had just recorded a podcast show where Wes, or you, Mary, had no idea what Shakira's she-wolf was.
Oh, that
The
was
song.
me.
So now Wes gets she-wolfed instead of shattered.
I like it.
Daniel,
I knew-
where do we find you on social media, bud?
You can follow BERMAN Photos on Instagram and Facebook and go to my website, bermanphotos.com.
His last name's Berman. Daniel,
That's right.
we love you, bud.
We do love you,
I
Daniel.
love all of you guys, and it's pretty special what we get to do each and every month. Thank you for having me.
Without you, there would be no leaf.
Truth.
Amen.
Big
Yeah.
facts. And
Yeah.
without you, there would not even be a beautiful leaf. But you design this magazine every month with heart and soul and grit and sweat.
Oh, yes.
All the
No matter
things.
what, and stays up 24 hours to get the job done so we can meet our print deadlines.
Allegedly.
And my God,
Allegedly.
it comes out absolutely gorgeous, better than the last one every single time.
Yes. Say that.
God,
Love you, Dan.
Exactly.
love you, Dan.
Love you, Dan.
Hey,
Love
Wes,
you.
next week, inventions for stoners.
Oh.
Everything I love to smoke out of had to be invented.
Ooh,
That's
yep.
true.
It's going to be a fun show.
Ah,
Download
excited.
this and all Leaf Life episodes at leafmagazines.com. You can listen to all Leaf Life shows on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, anywhere you enjoy podcasts, including YouTube. Just please subscribe at Leaf Life Podcast V2. Now, here comes another episode of Stony Baloney, which is also available at leafmagazines.com. And please be kind to animals.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies. Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Amsterdam Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer. Now, please stay tuned for this week's edition of Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Fake love. The universe is ever evolving. Change is constant. Therefore, as energy continues to manifest everywhere, we too transform. It is this energy that connects everything. But everything does not evolve in the same way. And although it is still evolution, some things devolve. And sadly, as the de-evolution of human connection seems to endure at the behest of advancing technology, so goes love. This is evidenced through the over-commercialization of love that subtly diminishes its indescribable joy by convincing us that a man's purpose is fulfilled when he identifies a wife for life. And to prove that commitment, he must reward his soulmate with an expensive token that symbolizes their devotion. Love has been manufactured and packaged, oversimplified, and marketed as a reward for being responsible rather than a reward for being alive. The words, "I love you," have become more of a convenient reassurance to a couple's conversation. It is sort of another way to say, "We're good. You have nothing to worry about." And there may be some lovemaking if everyone plays their cards right. But where that last thing that is supposed to mean what it was actually called, making love, for most relationships, it is simply maintenance that ensures the other party won't expect any drastic surprises that could result in some major life changes. It simply says that we're cool. We are still sharing a bed. Love has become more of a notion than an emotion, a concept rather than a concert, a calculation rather than communication. But for those of us who have been fortunate enough to experience true love, the obsessive fluttering of enchantment, the impatient lather of fervor, you know that this vibrance is unrivaled by any emotion encountered in the human experience. I love cannabis, and it has never expected a diamond as proof.
Stony Baloney. Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker or Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risks associated with consumption of this product. For use by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.